Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Invasion stream, week 29, day 5. So, today, we are going to mostly be messing around with the faction. A new faction ended up coming out, since of course we already ended up finishing out the invasion event. And yeah, we ended up getting the Lazarus's Lair, or where'd it go, all the way down here. Or Lyraza's Lair. I keep saying Lazarus, but Lyraza's Lair. And really weird layout to it. It's kind of like Call of Guardians, except you go in any direction and you can go pretty much anywhere. It's very strange. You do like 2 battles and then boom, you're already anywheres. But yeah, we've been, oh gosh, I'm clicking like every wrong location. But yeah, it's pretty bad faction overall. It doesn't have any guaranteed treasure rooms. It's just something you would do once and then never really bother touching again. We're currently at 240 at this current moment in time. And of course, by tomorrow, we should have a pure faction done. And with that, that's actually going to be somewhat noteworthy because with pure faction done, if you have an extremely high renown, you would have 44,000 points by then. And with 44,000 points, you would end up getting a permanent +1 magic bonus, which would be the first magic bonus ever to be obtainable from factions. And I assume the cycle just ends up repeating itself and then going back to, I think the HP was the first one. And it will just keep going through. And then at 88,000, we'll probably have the second magic, so no time soon. However, we would get another one by the time every faction comes into the game, because I believe that is the 15th or 14th. How many factions does that make now? And we still have at least that many, plus a few more coming. So we're definitely going to have another stat like that into the future at some point. But yeah, we currently have 18, so never mind. Yeah, there's only 34 factions, so I'm not sure exactly what will happen with that. Kind of have to wait and see. But yeah, I forgot about that. So that actually wouldn't end up being enough then, because you would need 48,000, which would require you to have 50,000, or sorry, you would need 88,000, which would end up requiring you to have, how many kingdoms is that? What's 88,000 divided by 2,500? Go. I want to get the exact. Let's see. Divided by 2,500. Oops, I just typed the numbers wrong. Incorrect. Let's see. We need 88,000 divided by 2,500. Goes in 35.2 times. So it'd be 1.5 kingdoms short. So basically 2 kingdoms short since there's no partial kingdom. But yeah, we would still be short because there's only 34 kingdoms. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with that, or if they'll have some kind of different rewards as we go forward. But all I know is 44,000 we'll be getting that one magic. And the cycle will probably continue on stats. But anyways, let's go mess with the invasion itself. We did end up buying up to the tier 7 5 times. So we should hopefully have enough battles. So far, we haven't skipped a single one. And we're at 240. Not sure if I'll start using skip method. Also using a bit of a kind of dwarven gate team with triple finesse. We were trying a few different things earlier this morning, of which I still need to do a team video for it. We will very soon TM. But hopefully by tomorrow morning or later tonight, I'll have it up. But there's this team actually ends up working out pretty well. Basically what it is a team completely centered around the gaining 4 stats to all Strix, while also having that combined with a mana gain. It gets to give all other allies 6 mana. So basically with a Storm, which you could easily do for a Perpetual Storm off the hero class itself, which also counts as a Strix, which gains those stats. So not only do we gain 12 stats to everything on our entire team, including hero, but we also get to have Perpetual Yellow Storm off of Stormcaller, which you don't even need leveled. You could just have it off of traits, which you could just put a few orange orbs on if you don't already have. And then you get this ability, which is kind of interesting in that it does extra damage to yellows. And while this normally wouldn't be too relevant, speed-wise, since obviously that might not be the quickest of things, given that it only does extra damage to yellow, the entirety of the first battle in the stealth, as well as 3 of the 4 in the final battle, are all yellow. So for that reason, you can end up basically doing this to do a lot of additional damage to them. And you can kind of stack it up with another weapon. We're currently using Nimbus Bow, which is an old event weapon. That boost ratio is based on Strix. You do not have to use this. As long as you're using any weapon that is divisible by 6 or less, so basically 18 mana cost or less, you would probably be able to be fine with whatever you use. Obviously, the main thing that would come to mind in that regard is one of the Doom weapons. One of the 6 Doom weapons you could end up using to Basically the same effect. And the only reason you'd really use this bow is more so to get extra turns in order to give them durability, as well as to allow them to hit a little bit easier as far as their overall damage. But yeah, it works quite convenient. It also gets double tap when there's only one remaining, so you can just focus the damage if you do happen to leave one away. But as you can see right here, after we do 2 rooms, even if we did it in this direction, you can pretty much go any direction you want, which is kind of weird. It's the only delve that's kind of set up like that, where you basically go anywheres, or you basically do 2 rooms and then you can go anywheres. Very, very strange how it is. But it is how it is. Let's see, we'll take that over. Except for the final room. You would have to go and move forward to actually reach the final room. But as far as like all the normal rooms, once you do 2, you have access to all of them, regardless of the 2 that you initially start with. Kind of weird, but it works out quite nicely. So it's taking a few extra turns here to stack up the stats. And even though we don't really need the mana, we do need the stats. 12 stats to everything on our entire team per extra turn. And just keep cycling. Also, I am using controller now. I wasn't earlier this morning, but it ends up working out quite well for speeding this team up. Because as I was mentioning, we generally don't really need a target with this team. Oh wait, this doesn't automatically let me target first slot? Weird. Wait, did I just freeze the... Controller! Controller bug. Fun. Wait, I just freeze the entire game? Good job. See, controller helps. Oh, I will never fix these bugs. But yeah, we're literally frozen. I have to restart the game. We have quite literally soft locked the game. Good job, game. Good job. Soft lock. That also ends the delve, by the way. So we just lost a whole sigil. Rip. But there we go. Found another soft lock. Actually, we haven't found too many soft locks. But anyways. Let's try that again and not do that for Nimbus Bow. Let's only use it for the birds. But as you can see, it auto loses the delve. Rip. Bye, 1 sigil. But anyways, let's try that again. Also, hello, everyone. Didn't even say hello to everyone yet. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Drock Savage. Hello, Vladimir. Hello, Army Xtube. Hello, Birdleaf. Hello, Ricardo. Hello, Tyranny. Hello, let's see, have I tried the really fast skull spamming Vespera? Which one? The one with skeleton and everything? I have not. It would work here. We tried a few other Vespera teams earlier this morning, and they worked. I didn't really care for them too much, personally, mostly because of the Vespera time to get up, but they all worked. You can even do this with Vespera, which is what we were originally doing, but the triple version actually seems a bit better, personally. But, can't believe the game just soft locked. Anyways, hello Johnny, hello Bill, hello Jellybean, hello Dino Suit Girl, hello let's see, hello Red Devil, and hello everyone else. Welcome, welcome. Which one are we referring to? That one? Let me go double check which one that one is. Okay, let's not do this for Nimbus Bow. Actually, one thing that we could do with this man is actually just infinitely loop the first ones. But let me go check the team that you just mentioned. Let's see, where's my channel? Actually, I could just type in Gems of War. Easier to get there. Let's see, Gems of War. And we should be one of the first things because we're streaming, and streams have higher priority on YouTube. Then we get an ad, then we like the video, and then we copy the team that you just mentioned. Copy. Let's see, what do we have here? What troop slot am I not using? This one we're not using. Paste team. We did not try this variant. We have for Guild Wars very similarly. I just don't know if you're going to have enough skull damage output. Vespera could, of course, give you random attack gain, but it is rather slow to try to get that much attack gain to upscale. For something like Guild Wars, it doesn't matter as much because you don't really need to upscale your attack since whatever you're fighting is already pretty much enough damage. But I feel like it's going to be slower once you get to like 300 plus. And it might work for a little bit earlier side because you can still upscale to that range. But I don't know. I just don't feel like she'll have enough stats personally to double skeleton like that. We can give it a shot though. I'm not even sure what Vespera team I'll be mentioning for the video. There's a lot of variants, obviously. All 3 colors can run decently viably for the game mode. But I do feel like a little bit more under blue, yellow and purple. Blue doesn't seem to have as many to upscales as well. But anyways, let's not soft lock the game this time. You just did 500 Purifaction? Nice. What did he end up completing it with? I'm likely going in with one of each. I'm considering. But curious if he doubled up on any. You did it with 7 potions on second attempt. Nice. What was your horde level? 200? 100? Hello, Michael. Welcome. And hello, Murmurford. Welcome as well. Did I just hard... No, okay, good. Wait, yes I did. What? Why is controller doing this so often? We might need to stop controller. This thing doesn't even have the ability to target. Why is it letting me target? Gems of War, fix your game. Why is this happening all of a sudden? It's mostly on newer troops, apparently. Well, 2 sigils gone. We're gonna need to go buy a whole pack for that. Gosh. Good job. Double soft lock. I think that's the quickest we've ever soft locked the game after soft locking the game. Okay, let's just not use controller. Sounds like a plan. We'll just use it exclusively for Explorer if it's going to be like that. Yeah, it doesn't ever do that for Rowain. I could use Rowain for like hours with controller and it'll never do that. Not sure why it's doing it with those two. But it is. So let's not. Okay. Let's try this a 3rd time. Hit the escape key. Does escape key actually work for that? Now I almost want to test it. Round 3 with controller. Okay, let's see if escape key actually does help. I thought you can't cancel abilities though. So I don't think escape key would work. Do you 100% confirm no that it would? Because I don't believe it would. But you never know, it might. Okay, so we're stuck here again. And yeah, escape key does nothing. Nothing does nothing. Also, 3 sigils to test this. We can just buy another pack for it. Yeah, we could retreat with escape key. That's not helpful. But no, escape key does nothing. 3 soft locks! There we go. Bottom verdict, don't use a controller. At least not for that. For Explorer, it's pretty nice. I never see Leprechaun or Rowain ever having that issue. I guess it's because the targeting thing on it is the main thing that's messing it up for whatever reason. But anyways, let's go buy another pack to go make up for that, I guess. Rip. Let's see. And now we have 6 packs bought. Rip 3 sigils. We didn't even get a single battle in there. Okay, well, we're back where we were, 3 sigils shorter. I heard from someone that they said they don't support controller. Which is weird because the page itself says partial controller support. So I'm not sure what exactly their thing is with it. I know many things I've mentioned when a controller in the past they've never bothered fixing. Which is quite unfortunate. Because it works perfectly fine on Switch. Yet on the PC version it doesn't. Which I always find really confusing. That they have perfect controller support on all the console versions. But on the PC version it does not. Even when you use a supported controller from another console that is supported on that console, it doesn't work on the Steam version for whatever reason, or at least has many glitches, which I find rather weird. It's mostly from clicking the input too quickly. So we'll do it the manual way. Which isn't much slower anyways. Let's see. We'll throw that down. And then Nimbus Bow kill it. Yeah, there's over a dozen controllers in the game. There's a very large amount. I believe that's the only one that actually soft locks the game, though. What do we grab here? We'll take that for now. Ideally, we want a yellow immediately on board. Otherwise, we go for Nimbus Bow. Also, we normally want to aim for the yellows first. just because we get boost ratio off of them. Whereas Nimbus Bow gets no boost ratio off of them. You notice when seeing your map, a lot of your kingdoms are level 10. Is there a reason you're not going beyond that? Every single level beyond level 10 requires you to use deeds. And deeds are an extremely limited resource that you can't infinitely farm. Unlike gold, which can be infinitely farmed. So generally you stop at 10 on everything. And then only start upgrading them when you can get a decent one to 15. But yeah, every level beyond 10 requires deeds. And deeds come in at a very, very slow rate. The only amount of guaranteed deeds you have per week is off of epic tasks, which is 1 per color, and then 1.6 that you can craft off of writs. That's the only amount of guaranteed deeds that you get per week. The rest are pure luck based off of adventure board. And there's no way to infinite farm them, unlike other resources in the game. That's the main reason why we don't upgrade them beyond 10. There are some that are upgraded, but only the more useful ones. And we don't want to upgrade just every single one that we can immediately upgrade, just because we'll run out of Imperial Deeds if we do. And I'm currently trying to save my Imperial Deeds for Magic Kingdoms, so all the purple ones. Also, speaking of that, if we get a purple adventure board, me saying that we get 3 Magic this week wouldn't be a lie. We got 2 days left. Hopefully we'll get it. Because I did say that there was a possibility that I would get the 3rd Magic. I never said it would definitively happen. It would definitively happen by next week. But it is still possible if we get purple deeds today or tomorrow that we actually got 3 Magic permanently this week. One was off of Monday, off of the Zolkari reaching 11 stars, which 10 stars against the Magic, of course. The other one was today. You can end up reaching the +1 Magic by having 44,000 Renown. I won't have it till tomorrow, but it is possible to do it today. And then the third one would be the second +1 level 15 Kingdom. Would be accessible if we were to have gotten purple deeds either sometime this week. And we still haven't, but we still have 2 days that it could happen on, Saturday and Sunday. This happened today. I don't even look at Adventure Board. I don't think it happened today. Pretty sure it was just junk stuff. Otherwise, I would have remembered it. Because I looked at it. I just didn't remember what was on it. And if I didn't remember what was on it, it was probably nothing noteworthy. Did you see the team that you used? Which one? People keep mentioning teams. Also, the other one that was just most recently posted, I didn't even check yet either. What team were you referring to? Well, let me go check the other team that was just posted. Didn't even check that one yet. I'll probably put over the other Vespera. Oh, for Pure Faction they asked for. Oh, sorry, what composition did he end up using? Yeah, I was curious on that. I'm probably still going in initially with 1 in each, personally. I'm curious what some people actually ran it with. Okay, let me go test the other team real quick. Let me go get the copy for it. Let's see. Where is the copy? Grab this. Copy. Boom, boom. Okay. Where is the paste location? We'll put it over this one. Get rid of the Vespera. Oh, I don't have 2 High King Iron Gut. This happened earlier. Someone tried doing a double Weaver one as well. There are mythics I don't have double of. I know I have everything in the game, but I don't have double of everything in the game. At least not yet. We could go and use our diamonds to do so if we really wanted to. But there are some mythics where I don't really feel like it's too worth having double. For example, High King Iron Gut. You can use High King Iron Gut plus Zugoff. And that basically counts as double High King Iron Gut with the benefit of being able to hit through Impervious and Devour immunity. But, yeah, something like that would end up working. Has a bunch of mana accumulation. Covers every color but red, which your banner just ends up minusing to give benefit to everything. Thrall can get up in a single purple without it even needing to surge. And then you just mana accumulate an Essence of Evil to get rid of Devour immune. But yeah, that would definitely end up working out pretty well. Only slight concern is getting the Devour off quick enough on the High King Iron Gut on the initial one. That should be fine with potion effects because you're going to have a 100% chance with enough attack to get your Devour anyways. Especially if you set it to +8 or +12 attack if you don't already have enough. So yeah, it should end up working out pretty well. I cannot use it though because I do not have 2 Iron Guts. Unfortunately. We probably will eventually. For the team that I'll be showing for the video, I'm just going to show with Iron Gut plus Zugoff. Well, let's go finish out this delve. The one that soft locked 3 times now. Though that was my fault every single time. Kind of. Actually, it was my fault this 2 other times. The first time it was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this bug. The other 2 times were like, I knew about this bug. It was like, we'll still do it anyways. Let's see. And small stuff like that they never fix, which is really unfortunate. I think the funnier one that does a screen like that, though it doesn't actually soft lock anything, is if you click escape, it's only possible on PC version. Actually, it might be possible on Switch if you use a keyboard. But if you go into chat and click escape at the same time, let's see. Wait, does it not work anymore? Never mind, they might have shadow fixed it. No, there it is. Aha! I knew it still works. You can get a weird screen for your background. Let's see. Oh, you don't have full mana. Do none of you have full mana? Okay, well, fine. We'll cast Nimbus Bow. But yeah, now we have the sunglasses vision. How do none of you have full mana? There we go. Now you have full mana. Yeah, this is still a thing. You can easily fix it just by hitting chat again. And then going out of chat. Small things like that. I guess that one's not as big a deal, though, because it doesn't really mess with anything. Unless someone forgets where the chat button is. It also fixes just by restarting the game, of course. Let's see. We'll go for that. Grab our Pokety Pokes. And Nimbus Bow into any poke will kill. Actually, I don't even need to do that. Double tap. Because that ability does double hit if there's only one remaining. And that was one remaining, so it hit twice, and he's dead. After this one, let me go do adventure board and everything. Said there was nothing good. There might be something juicy. I highly doubted that. You did the double of the core into Lyraza and Chaos Hound. Interesting. That does make sense. Because the double... I did say earlier that if you were to replace out any of them, it would probably be the troll. Because a troll is doubling stuff you don't necessarily need. I almost feel like I would want to double the... I guess you actually wouldn't double the hound then. I was almost going to say double the hound, but you'd kind of naturally get a double of the hounds. I guess that would be tankier because it would help allow you to have at least one of them for the final battle. The only thing I hate about that is that's blocking a lot of yellow mana that we won't really plan on using. Because we're not really going to be using the yellow-purple trip for anything. Like, we can't really risk it. Because it's only a 66% chance it gets to disable. And then if it steals attack... Stealing attack, I guess, would actually be beneficial. The biggest issue is... we only have a 66% chance if we're depending on it to get a... to stop their ability. Which isn't really particularly high. Like, it's high in the sense that... like, it's a big number, percent-wise. But given that it's not consistently going to do that every single time, that's a bit of a liability. We'd also most likely want a mana drain rather than the silence. Particularly because there's a lot of imperviouses that we'll have to deal with. The entirety, or half the first battle and one of the final battle have impervious, of which silence won't even do anything to it. So theoretically, it's actually 33% chance in those situations. But, I don't know, the inconsistency of it is going to be really annoying. Its stealing attack would be really beneficial, though. But that's only 1 in 3. Everything about it is just so luck-based. And to get it to do what we want every... Oh, gosh, no wonder why I didn't remember what adventure board was. It is complete trash. Actually, I don't even need to switch to armor because it's that bad. But yeah, look, if we go use controller here, it's actually not going to soft lock an entire time. And I think that's mostly because of casting abilities. For whatever reason, when you spam click on something that has a specific target, it likes to not function sometimes. But if we do it here, we can use controller and it will never have any problem. Because Leprechaun doesn't target anything and Rowan doesn't target anything. They just auto-do their abilities. Let's see. You did confused about the Lyraza's faction, so you did 2 of the tasks when it tried to move forward, ready to fight. You can only use 2 troop members. Why? And you did stick to the color theme. What do you mean? If you lost any troops, you would only have 2 left. But you should be able to be allowed to start with 4, of course. But anything you lose during the delve does stay lost for the entire duration of the delve. Also, if anything in your team ends up getting moved, it's permanently moved for the duration of the delve as well. This delve doesn't really have many movement troops, though. Yeah, the stealing of the attack would be pretty beneficial. I believe with all the extra potion effects, he would steal almost 100 attack or something. But yeah, I guess we'll mess around with it and see once we get to that point. We won't be doing that till either later tomorrow or tomorrow night. Or later tomorrow morning stream or tomorrow night, one or the other. But yeah, I might test it with double. Because the troll doesn't seem like it's really going to do much. All those trolls that do a double-double are rather underwhelming. And there's really only one troop you're feeding the double-double into, and it's not even that good of a cast. It's Lyraza. Though the other half of it does go into the Manticore thing. Why do people recommend doing the highest multiplier delve rooms first? Mostly because the amount of multiplier that you get towards your total amount of points, as well as to your overall loot that you get per room, is based on what your current multiplier is at. So, for example, every single one of the rooms that we do have a static amount of points. Let's just say 200. And all your multipliers will apply to that amount of points that you end up getting per room. So as you're going and trying to get all rewards or leaderboards, if you take the higher multiplier rooms first, you'll end up getting overall more points. Because if you take something like a 1.5 and then a 1.4, you're going to have a 2.9 multiplier. Whereas if you take something like a 1.1 and then a 1.2, you're going to have a 2.3 multiplier. And that applies to every single one of your rooms. So that next room you're doing, you would end up having that 2.9 multiplier for if you took the bigger rooms. And then the other instance, it would be a 2.3. And it also affects all the loot that you get per room. And generally, taking all the higher multipliers and then doing the treasure rooms would net you with quite a bit more loot than you normally would. Not like a substantial amount. It's about a 10% or 20% increase or so. Same as about the amount of points. It's normally just a little bit above 10% is the amount of increase it does. However, doing it in that order doesn't take normally that much more time. And for 10% extra loot or so, it's generally worth doing. There's Adventure Board down already. That took like 0 seconds because how easy they were. And let's just go run, what's his name real quick? Where is she? Phoenicia. I know you're down here. What class would you use for 2 hiking Iron Gut with Essence of Evil? I'd probably just use whatever I'd want to level. As long as it has half mana start. Honestly, even Plague Lord itself seems like it would be pretty decent. Because you get disease on them. So they don't do their ability as quick. But pretty much anything with half mana start would be fine. Ideally one that's not already leveled, just for the free class XP. Because factions do give a pretty big amount of faction XP. It's actually one of the reasons I'm sticking with the team I'm using right now. Even if there are things that are slightly quicker, we wouldn't necessarily be getting class XP for them. Whereas I still haven't upgraded Stormcaller to max yet. So I might as well just get some free XP on it. What's nice is even the team that we're using right now with the Diabolist thing with that Red Storm actually gives us some XP too. Only level 70 on it. But anyways, let's go back to the factions now that those are out the way. Also, I already did my Underworld ones dailies as well. That's something you should always consider doing before you actually start doing the event. Make sure whenever a new faction comes out to go and do your daily factions on it. Because you can get a 2x multiplier on level 20, 30, and 40. Which if you did it the other way around, you would not be able to do so. Because if you do it for the event, it permanently increases the delve. However, if you do it for the delve, the event always stays at the lowest level, or it always starts at 20. So even if you already have, like, 500 faction, the Tuesday events and the new Friday events always start at 20. So you can do 20, 30, 40 here. And then when you go to the normal faction event, if you haven't already started it, it would be all the way at 20. It would not increase based on it. However, if you did the event faction first and got it all the way to like where we are right now, 250, and then you went back to this page, we'd have to do a 260 battle, which would obviously be much, much harder. So doing the 20, 30, 40 whenever a new faction comes out is generally advised. It's relatively quick, and it gives 2 times multiplier. Anyways, let's go back to the faction itself. Also, let me drop the controller so we don't soft lock again. Drop it. We soft locked 3 times, don't need to do it again. Let's see. We'll grab a purple for now. Get Nimbus bow rolling. And should be good to go. Oh, that was a big miss. Not a single yellow was earned there. And he goes and silences that useless thing. And now we win. Let's see. So your current total multiplier applies to each room, yes. Not just the boss room. Yes, it applies to every single room, not just the boss room. Your multiplier by the boss room, assuming you do every single room, will always be the same regardless of what order you do. However, the loot that you get along the way would end up getting increased by whatever multipliers you have. And what I was talking about by the point thing earlier, you see right here, this says 1,250 points. That goes up depending on how far you are. But every single room has a set amount of points that it gives. And every single room other than the boss room has the exact same amount of points that they give for doing it, regardless of its difficulty. And for this reason, doing it in multiplier order, even in just that regard, ends up increasing your overall amount of points, because the amount of multiplier that you get applies per room. So taking the bigger multipliers first would earn you more points. And on average, it varies by a delve, but it earns anywhere from about 10 to 20% additional points. And the same thing applies to the loot per room. The amount of loot that you get is multiplied by the multiplier every single time. And taking the higher multipliers will generally yield you more loot. This is more so applicable for delves that have any amount of treasure rooms. However, it is still applicable to most delves even if they don't have a treasure room. However, the end result of every single delve will be the same regardless of order. It's just the loot and points you get along the way can be increased by about 10 to 20% by doing it multiplier order. So like right here, this is a treasure room, 1.4. However, I am going to go take that 1.4 because we don't really have too many other enticing multipliers here. Could you recommend a new player team for events? No mythics. Which events? The faction event right now? What we're using right now would work. You use 3 finesses, which you get off of skilled seal keys. So if you're in a guild, you earn seals. And with those seals, you can use those to open up seal keys. And they have a 50% chance to give you a guardian troop. And he's one of the 12 guardians. And just with a few of him into literally any hero weapon would end up working. You'd want to have a storm. So that hero weapon would need to either have a storm or you'd need to be using a hero class that can generate a storm constantly or off of a trait. But as long as you have that set up, you could just run 3 of him into something that creates a storm off a hero, and you'd be fine. Technically, you wouldn't even need to do it off a hero. You could just use a troop 2 in last slot that has a storm on it, and then just cycle this exact same team, and it'll work perfectly fine. Stats would be a bit lower, so it might be a bit slower. You might also not have it traded. However, you don't necessarily need his traits. Later in delves, you might, to move forward, of course. But earlier on, it probably wouldn't matter too much, him not having traits. You wouldn't need it to be fully traded. And early game can fully trait stuff. You trait the first trait and then you use a small orange for the second 2. If that is worth going out of your way to trait. Not so sure on that though. But you can trait things still in early game. Even things that are harder to trait. And this event itself actually gives orbs as well. So you'd probably earn the orbs back just from doing the event. Because you have 4 orb chances. And with the rate at which orange drops, there's a pretty good chance that 2 of those 4 would end up being orange. Actually, even when we opened up our orbs earlier, 2 of those 4 were orange. So you would get the orange orbs back almost immediately. Yep, no problem. And if that doesn't end up working out, or if you can't end up getting this traded, if you feel like you do need it traded, you can go down the route of Mang. Assuming you already have the Mang weapon, which you get, I believe, at 23 brown-red mastery or somewhere around there. You can run that with skull spam options behind. Even something as cheap as skeleton would end up working. And just using Mang with some skeletons. And then, if nothing else, is some support troops. If that's not enough to keep it alive. And then you could just spam Mang into really high damage skulls. Because Mang tears all the armor from an enemy. And then gives you that as attack, which allows you to upscale against any battle. And skeleton gives extra turn with skulls. So you'll always be able to just keep poking it down. It would give the enemy a few more skulls as well. But one way around that is to use a hero class that also has barrier on brown. Which you can do with something like the Titan hero class. As long as you have it at least level 40 as far as its class level, you can end up getting barrier on it. And if you haven't already gotten something like that, it is worth getting. All the hero classes that have barrier on brown are relatively strong. With Titan being one of the better options as far as how well-rounded it is. Also, I think we're going to start using skip method soon. We're almost at, what, 300? Normally around 250 to 300 I start doing skips, sometimes even earlier. But it is starting to noticeably slow down. So I'll probably finish out this delve normally and start doing skips. Which means we'll definitely be doing pure faction tomorrow morning then. If that's the case. Because if we start doing skip method, we will effortlessly hit 500 by tomorrow morning. Or tomorrow afternoon, I should say. So hello, Leaf. Welcome. And hello, Chad. And hello, Fuzzles. You got an Arachnine Weaver. Congrats. And you got smashed by a team using Web Spinner traits for skull damage. Does anyone know that team? Which one? There's quite a few different Web Spinner variants. Was it a Web Spinner team that had Arachnine Weaver as well? Or just a Web Spinner in general? If it did it really quickly, it might have done it off of Empower Troops. There are 2 Empower Troops that get to convert immediately into skulls. Oh gosh, I forget both of their name. Well, one of them is Fist of Zorn. I forget the other one's name. But one of them converts all yellows to skull, and the other one converts all green to skull. And it can do that from the very first turn. Oh, Arachnine Weaver with it. Oh, was it using an Orb Weaver variant? Some people use Orb Weaver variant, which is Web Spinner, Life and Death, Arachnine Weaver, and whatever the name of that one guy that has 50% elf mana start is. That's one variant that some people run. Most people tend to run Skull Rush variants of it, though, too. Where you just run things that either have Empower Skulls, or you run things that have Double Convert Skulls with a Weaver, or with a Web Spinner, and then it can do damage very quickly. Like, there's a lot of ways to build it. Yeah, Apophysis was the other one's name. Yeah, it was Fist of Zorn's and Apophysis. Both of them have Empower into Skull Convert. And they're generally the 2 that I lean to whenever I use Web Spinner Rush. Though there are other options that are a bit slower initially, but they have, once they get going, they're much better. The Empower option is basically just hoping you get a good starting board and just rush down. It doesn't work as good under AI control, but under player control it does. Because obviously your player knows when you have alignment or not. Whereas double converts work a little bit better for AI, since there's basically double the chance that it wouldn't miss. If you're just converting one thing, there's a much higher chance that it would miss compared to if it double converted. What would you do for Pure Faction 300 team? Would you recommend for level 300? Well, it would be the same one that you would run for 500. And you could either run one of each or double up on the Manticore. Either or would end up working. Manticore mainly because it's the tankiest thing in the delve. And the one that you would drop is Troll, because Troll doesn't really do much. All the Trolls have been rather underwhelming. The ones that double certain mana. With the better Storms coming into the future, that might change. And some Trolls might end up gaining viability. As it currently stands, all the Trolls that specifically do a double-double, they double 2 different gems, aren't really that worth it. I can't think of a single instance where they really are meta. Not Manticore, the Demon Core, or whatever it's called. There's a one with impervious and 20% dodge. That guy. But the yellow-purple from the faction is what you would end up using for it. Let's see, we'll take that for now. And then we have all the mana we need and we won. And luckily, almost this entire team is yellow, of which we do double damage each time. And Epi dead. Easy as that. And I think we start doing skip method now. Let the skipping begin. So to skip this delve, you have two paths. You can do, actually you have three paths. No, you have two paths. You can't do 1, 2. You have to go 1, 3, 5 or 1, 3, 4. Unfortunately, you cannot go 1, 2, 5. Wait, can you? Never mind. Never mind, you have three options. You can do 1, 2, 5. You can do 1, 3. Wait, can this move go to there? Hold up, there might be multiple options. I want to test something real quick. You might have a double triple choice for this delve. That's kind of interesting if that is the case. It'd be the first delve in the game that has a double triple. Stonesong Aerie had a double, or sorry, it'd be the first one with a triple. Oh no, never mind, double triple is correct. I don't know, I guess it depends how you define it. But anyways, Stonesong Aerie had a double of it. But this one basically has a triple path that you can take. 2 triple paths. Where you basically have the choice of 3 twice, essentially. That's rather interesting. So basically, right here, if we're going to go do rush method, we have the choice of any of these 3. And then we have the choice of any of these 3. If I'm not mistaken, that should be how it works. So let's see what the easiest of these 3 is. Generally, it's going to be the tier 2 room, obviously. That one has transformed, so definitely no. So yeah, let's take the tier 2 room. And then we should be able to take any of the last 3. Unless that only works on the middle, but I'm pretty sure you can do it on any. So that's actually a rather weird rush method. That is so strange compared to like any other delve. But hey, if it works, it works. But yeah, we'll see. Because I believe you can do any of those 3 and it still counts. As long as it's the one adjacent to the room. I don't think it has to be that middle one. Not 100% certain on that. It might have to be the middle one. But you still have a triple choice initially, if nothing else. Of which you'd most likely take the tier 2 room. Yeah, you would have to clear 4 rooms. You take this one, one of these 3, and in the boss room. You're going to have to take 4 rooms, but you have a triple choice twice. This one's mandatory, as it always is. That one's mandatory, as it always is. But your second room, you have a choice of any of these 3. And for your third room, you have a choice of any of these 3. So we should be able to take something like this room over here. And go and take the boss after. That's a really weird delve. As far as how it's visually set up. But that should get us to final room. Find out in a moment. I don't think it has to be that middle one. Pretty sure any of them work. Did I just... What? That's not fair. That's not fair. I'm not even using controller. Fix your game, devs. 4 soft locks in one stream. Hello, Dortero. Is this troop just that broken? Though it happened with Nimbus Bow as well. How many times do... I didn't even touch the controller. Wow. Well done. Anyways. Well, that delve is dead. 4 soft locks. I almost legit want to get my 4 sigils back. Fix your game, devs. Let's see. Shall we go into 5th softlock in one game? That hasn't happened a single time this morning either. Let's see. Let's try this again. I know, I'm breaking the game. We're breaking the game too hard, apparently. Apparently. It happens when you spam click too much. If we just don't spam click, it won't happen. That's why controller does it so much more often. Because it's really easy to spam click on controller. If we do the single clicks, it won't do that, or it shouldn't. We can spam click at the end. Just don't do it during battle, apparently, with that thing. But anything that's targetable, because it just likes to not work for whatever reason. Yeah, we wasted 4 sigils. Let's see. Throw that down. Yeah, if we don't spam click, it should never happen. The main thing that messes it up is if we spam click right here on the cast. Because it makes it so the targeting screen doesn't work properly. If you do it at a certain frame. Okay, so right here... So can you actually do that tier 5 and go to final room? Because you said we have 4 choices. Does doing this 5 actually bring you to final room? I know this 4 should, and this 4 should, and obviously that 5 should. But does that 5 as well? I assume this one wouldn't. These 3 should. But that'd be really weird if that one actually brings you to final room as well. Let's go do this one. Even though it's really annoying bullets, we can kill it pretty quickly. But then again, I don't know, it's really annoying bullets. Let's just go for this. Though it has a lot of charm, but oh well. Just do this one. Wait, the tier 5 works too? Wait, I see a no and I see a yes. I assume it wouldn't. But with how weird this delve is, I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Oh, I had to do it on yellow. That's like literally the only thing I shouldn't be targeting with Nimbus Bow. Because Nimbus Bow does the same amount of damage against everything, whereas this thing does extra against yellow. I'll try it for next delve. Worst comes to worst, we just do an extra room. I'm being so careful not to multi-click. There we go. Except for the end, because it won't matter at that point. Okay, so yes, that does allow us to do the delve. That is so weird. We left like a whole wall of rooms undone. And it's like, hey, you can go to the boss room now. This is a really strange delve. Gives you a lot of options to get to the end, though. But unfortunately, you do have to minimum take 4 rooms. It's not a 3-room one. But it gives you choices. A lot of choices. Either gives you 3 choices and 3 choices, or 3 choices and 4 choices. We'll test in a moment which one it does. No cast for you. He's trying to get that kill. He's probably going to, too, off that def mark. That was one of the reasons I kind of wanted to double up on him. Even though he can resummon himself, he does have def mark on, or def touch. Which synergizes pretty well with the fact he creates skulls as well, and resummons himself. Okay, let's go try the 5 method. So we'll take the 1, the 2, the 5, and see if that lets us go to the end. I assume no, but you never know. What class is best with Finesse Nimbus Bow? Well, you can use any weapon there, but it's the Strix hero class. There's 2 reasons for this. One is you have to have Storm in order for these to even give mana. So you want to have a Perpetual Storm. So technically, the only 2 hero classes that are really viable then is the Sunspear hero class, and then the one we're using right now. Why do I forget its name? Gosh, the Stormcaller. So you basically have to use one of those 2. And you would end up going for Stormcaller, and the main reason for that is Stormcaller has Perpetual Yellow Storm, and it counts as a Strix. Yellow Storm is obviously beneficial since our entire team is essentially yellow, pretty much. And the Strix aspect is beneficial because this actually upgrades Strix, and this counts as Strix. So you get to have a 12 stat bonus every single time you extra turn, which goes towards your hero as well. So even right here, we have 116 magic, and now we have 118 magic. And every extra turn would increase that by 12. Assuming they're fully traded. And if you have one fully traded, they're all fully traded, of course. Okay, let's see if this 5 lets us go to the end. My bet is on no, but this faction is weird enough that it could be us. No summon for you. Do we have an extra turn in there? No. Let's go kill that out. Don't do it. What's your percent chance anyways? Only 20%. Never mind, that's not too intimidating. And it's dead. Killing them with all the eagle strikes. Okay, does that let us do the final room? Oh, it does. That is a weird delve. So yeah, you actually do have 4 choices. That is so strange. You have to take room 1. Then you have any of these 3. Then you have any of these 4. And then you have to take the final one. What a weird delve layout. That is easily the weirdest delve layout I have ever seen. Let's see. I'll take that for now. Yeah, the rooms don't have to be adjacent at all. It's so strange. Like, once you do one room beyond the first room, like you do one of the first 3, and at that point you can do literally any room, and then after doing any of the other rooms, you just go and can do the final room. I wonder if that applies to even if we redo one of the other ones. I don't think so, because it would have unlocked it initially. As long as you do any of the rooms that aren't one of the initial 3s, it would just unlock the final room as well. Because all 4 of those final rooms count as technically adjacent to the final room, even though it doesn't visually look adjacent. So basically, this one's adjacent to these 3. These 3 are adjacent to every single one of these 4 somehow. And these 4 are all adjacent to that. Even though none of them really visually look that much like that. That is how they are. But let me double check. Let's see what happens if we do 2 of these 3. It should not unlock the final room. And if it does, that is even stranger. In which case, it probably just has to check to see if you've done 2 rooms, and then this is like, oh, hey, here you go. Or 2 rooms, that's not the mandatory first one, I mean. I assume that one definitely wouldn't work. That's worth a shot, just to see. Because it should just be counting the other ones as adjacent, even though it just doesn't visually look like it. I don't think it's counting number of rooms. But I do want to check it real quick. Let's do a 2 and then a 3. And see if a final one actually gets unlocked. My vote is on no. Because those other 4 are actually technically considered adjacent to the final room. Whereas these initial 3 are not. Or I should say the initial 4 if you count the first room. I always never count the first room. First and last are always mandatory. So there's technically only 2 rooms in between the delve. Let's see. Let's go take a tier 3 room. So one of these tier 3s. This should not unlock the final room. And if it does, that is even stranger. Because the other 4 should be the only 4 that are adjacent to it. The answer may surprise you. Will it really allow us to do the final one? That is very strange if so. This is hands down the weirdest delve in the entire game if this works. That means they actually coded a check just to see if you had 2 rooms done. And then it's like, oh yeah, let's just let them do the final room now. That'd be the only delve in the game that's like that. What a weird mechanic. That they didn't even make any mention about either. It's like, oh, we're just going to code it this way. And still let them find out about it. Yeah, it doesn't. That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought. This one is adjacent to those 3. These 3 are all adjacent to these 4. And these 4 are all adjacent to the final room. Okay, so that's what I thought. That makes sense. Okay, good. I was going to say, that would have been way too weird if that actually worked. Okay. We'll go for this one, I guess. I'm not even sure which one's the easiest. Let's go for that one. What is the best weapon to use in the purple gold faction delve? I'm not sure which one you're referring to. What do you mean by the gold faction delve? Connection, what are you doing? Go. What do we grab? Let's take a purple for now. Oh, this delve? What is the best weapon to use in the purple gold faction delve? I'm still not understanding the question. Do you mean if you were like use a gold oriented team? But if you could rephrase that, I could probably answer it. Hello, Chad. Troop restriction are purple and gold. You mean purple and yellow? Oh, when he says gold, he means yellow. Oh, my bad. I was gonna say that really threw me off. But yeah, he meant yellow. That makes sense. The purple-yellow faction dove. It depends what team you're using. Some decent weapons, depending on what team you're running, would either be... you're allowed to use any color weapon you want. So, depending on your team composition, it's either going to be Mountain Crusher, Essence of Evil, Mang, or for running like a team like this, something like Nimbus Bow. But you're allowed to use any colored weapon. You're not restricted to yellow or purple as far as weapons. In both Tower of Doom and Delves, you're actually allowed to use a colored weapon that is not the color of the restriction. So something like Mountain Crusher or Essence of Evil are both really great mana accumulation methods that can be used. And which one you use really just depends on your team and what colors you're already covering. What do we grab here? Take that for now. Now we'll get full mana for everything else. What? No. I didn't do anything. The fails are strong. The fails are very, very strong. Is it literally just because we have a controller in? I'm not hitting any inputs on it. Rip. How many is that now? 5 or 6? I think that's 6. I lost track. It happened too many times. Well, then. Let's try this one more time. Well, then. I definitely need to mention something about that. It could be the server tonight, too. I don't know. Has anyone else been having that issue? I know. It had the thing here earlier, like the exclamation point saying servers were bad. Rip. Right on final battle. Don't do this to us. But has anyone else been having this issue? Like, I'd even spam click that one. Let's see. Let's go kill the Valraven. You better not fail right now. We need that Valraven. That's 2 battles. Okay, which one do we want? Let's just take the 2. Kill out the easy cockatrices. Let's see. What's the easiest way to get rid of controller? The easiest way to get controller would be to go to Bluetooth. Go to devices. Disconnect this device. And, okay, controller is 100% disconnected now. So you have no reason to do anything bad, in case that is the case. That's really strange that just if it is actually occurring just because we have a controller plugged in. Even when you're doing no inputs on it. Now I almost want to try soft locking it just to see. Okay, which one do we want? Probably this one then. If any of these 4. And yep, I was right the first time. It's you. In your opinion, what faction is the best one to farm for daily delves? City of Thieves. City of Thieves or Mirrored Halls, though I'd say overall it's probably City of Thieves. Has better team compositions, and it has more overall treasure room chance. Even though it only has 3 guaranteed treasure rooms rather than 4, they're all 1 room adjacent, so you get better value out of Cedric's. And there's also more overall treasure rooms that you could get, because there's a few other rooms that can be treasure rooms in that delve. Okay, now I'm gonna take this final one. Let's see. Move that over for now. Let's see. We'll go for Nimbus Bow. Grab a... Oh, no, I needed that mana. Now we don't have full mana for him when we cast. I'm going to have to go get this thing up. That was a really annoying mana drain. The silence would also have been equally annoying there. What do we need? We need yellow. Because we didn't get enough yellow earlier because of the thing that he did. And now he's doing it again. Okay, that should be matched with Nimbus Bow. Hello, Zex! Welcome! So I was going to say, we only got a 6 chest, but never mind, that makes sense. Because we did the rush method. That's actually relatively high then. But there we go. But yeah, how many sigils do we have left? We're going to have another 3 tomorrow. That's 18. 18 into 290. We should have 6 more, though. But, let's see. 290 into it would end up being, what is that? Let's say 18, 290. That's 470, right? So that means as of tomorrow, we'd be a few short still. Because it wasted 6 of them. I'm not sure if they could get those 6 back in time, though. Might as well not even report it. Because the amount of time it would take them to do that kind of support ticket, it would probably already be Monday, and the event would be over. So I might just have to buy another pack, unfortunately. But we might have needed the stats anyways. We currently only bought it up 6 times. Of which we theoretically could have gone away with 5 times. If it wasn't for the glitch that happened this stream. But oh well. Not too big a deal. We have enough resources that it really doesn't matter too much. But still a weird glitch nonetheless that they need to get around to fixing. But anyways, does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, we'll probably end it there for now. Hello, Trade. Let's see. In your opinion, what faction... Oh, I already answered that. But yeah, City of Thieves is the best farming faction in the game. Especially if you can keep it at level 20. Is the absolute best right over there. Hello, Whiplash. Welcome. Yeah, anyone else? Any questions? Anythings? So you had combined all your finesse on Wednesday. Do you have a recommendation for a 4th troop? What do you mean? You only have 1 finesse then? Well, you can go open a few more seal keys to get more. If you only have like 1 right now or 2 right now. They're pretty easy to get if you haven't already gotten all your seals, or if you have some spare purple orbs. 50% of the drops are going to be guardians. And if you already have some of the other guardians maxed, it would end up working out quickly. And no, Bill Warhammer, I did not forget a code. We never got more codes from Salty. So we're actually low on codes right now. So I can only give out 1 today and tomorrow. Because if I give out more, we're going to run out by the time Monday gets here and Salty gives us more. But yeah, I don't have enough codes at the moment. I have 3 left. 1 for tomorrow, or actually, sorry, 2 left. 1 for tomorrow night or tomorrow morning, and then another 1 for Sunday night. And then by Monday, hopefully Salty would have given us more. But anyways, guys, any other questions? Oh yeah, what was the glitch? The glitch was basically, I think it might have been because we had a controller plugged in, but basically there's a glitch when you spam click too quickly after a targetable ability, where the game soft locks because it doesn't realize you are trying to target with an ability, and it just shows you the troop stats instead on every single troop. And it basically soft locks the game because it thinks you're trying to cast, but you're not allowed to target anything. Oh yeah, we could give out a special code. We might tomorrow morning. We'll see. If we complete, when we do Pure Faction, we'll give out a code, a special code. So we might be doing Pure Faction tomorrow morning, or I should say tomorrow afternoon by the time we get around to it. But yeah, we'll probably be back tomorrow morning around noon or so. And yeah, a few hours after that, like 2 hours in, we'll probably be at Pure Faction. And I guess we'll give out a big code for Pure Faction, because in doing so, we're going to gain +1 magic, which is a pretty big milestone. So might as well, we'll give it a shot. But yeah, I guess we'll give out a bigger code so we can give out 2 tomorrow. Bigger code in the morning and normal code at night tomorrow night. That would work. Other than that, yeah, we'll be back at noon, as well as tomorrow night, hour prior to now tomorrow. And noon tomorrow and 15 hours from now will be our 2 streams that we'll be doing. But yeah, if anyone else has any other questions, just let me know. Otherwise, we'll be back soon, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And best of luck with the faction. And hopefully the beta will start soon, so I can mention that to them. I'll probably mention it to them through their support thing as well. But I think it might be controller specific. And they technically, I heard from someone that they technically don't support controller, so not sure what the whole ordeal is with that. That would explain why they haven't fixed some of the other controller issues. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Because that's not a controller-specific only thing. It can be done with mouse if you click quick enough. It just is a lot easier to accidentally do with controller. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. And thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, everyone.